All right, we'll start in 30 seconds. Hey, Mr. Griffiths, how are you doing today?
Morning. How are you?
I'm doing great, doing great. I heard so many good things about you.
Appreciate that. Hopefully they're good. Hopefully they're good things.
Ron Flowers told me to tell you hello.
Well, if you see Ron, tell him I said hi. Tell him to come by. I'll take him out to lunch.
I will. He's helping with our golf tournament, so I will.
Nice.
We named our golf tournament after him. So
He's a good man. I've known him. God, I've known him a lot. I've known him a lot of years. It's good to be back in DC.
nice, nice, nice. All right, well, we're going to get started. I want to say good morning to everyone. Uh, Glad that you all could join us today. Antoine Thompson, CEO, Executive Director for Greater Washington Region Clean Cities. This is our monthly industry meeting, and we'll have some great speakers, some really good information as well. We're going to talk about a lot of good things today. And two of our speakers today will be Gio Murikin, who is president and CEO of Pioneer E-Mobility eBoost. You got some great things. If you're not using his technology for your EV charging, you need to do it. We're also here from Sarah Berman. She's with DC EV Smart. She's a projects manager for Pepco Holdings. And so we'll hear from them as well. We'll also have some updates from some of our stakeholders on some of the things you all have going on in your respective areas as well. We'll have some funding announcements. Lots of funding that's out there in the industry, and I'll share just a few quick funding announcements today as well. I did want to share with you all just a couple of things that we have going on. This Saturday will be in Alexandria at the Eco City Festival in Alexandria, Virginia. I think it's from 10 to 1 on Saturday. Uh, Hopefully, Laurel, if you can throw that in the chat today. So come on out for that event. There's also we're also collaborating next Friday for a with the uh, Energy Engineer Association is having a lunch and learn and display of vehicles in the EV space next Friday from 10 to 1. And that's in Fairfax County. So, and that's free. So, those two events this Saturday in Alexandria, Virginia, next Saturday, and next Friday in Fairfax. Just want to say just a couple other quick things that we have coming up. We have a webinar on Tuesday evening from 7 to 8 p.m. It's on public charging with the Mid-Atlantic Electrification Project. That's 7 to 8 p.m. You can register for that on Eventbrite. Should be really good. So you can learn about some of the EV charging programs that we are hoping to push out there. This particular program is a federally funded initiative with some other local and private funding. We also have coming up on May 23rd our Green Procurement Working Group. It's always a good opportunity to talk about some of the various ways, not only in transportation, but with cleaning supplies, building materials, you name it, how we can use more environmentally friendly products and services. So that's May 23rd from at 11 a.m. to noon. Last two announcements. I want to mention our Environmental Energy and Transportation Justice Summit will take place June 20th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Howard University. You can register today. Should be an amazing event. Again, that's June 20th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Howard University Environmental, Energy, and Transportation Justice Summit, celebration of Juneteenth. So we're looking forward to that. Last other announcement, two announcements. One is the 2024 Ron Flowers Annual Scholarship and Golf Tournament. So that is June 27th, 8:30 a.m. Oak Creek Golf Club. We'll also have a golf clinic there. So if you're not good at golf, sign up for the golf clinic. We'll include lunch as well. We'll also have a chance for you to win a new car. That's right. If you get a hole in one, there'll be all the stipulations on site, but you'll have a chance to win a brand new car. That's right. So look forward to that. Last thing I wanted to mention is that registration will open up tomorrow for our annual conference, which will be we'll have a pre-conference and an actual conference in October. I'll mention the dates. I think it's October 15th and 16th. But I will, and it's going to be in Greenbelt. The virtual conference is the day before. The actual conference, the in-person, will be at the Martin's Crosswinds in Greenbelt, Maryland, just outside of DC. So stay tuned for that. Registration will open up tomorrow. So you can start registering if you want to be a sponsor. Let us know. And we'll also be looking for speakers for some of the panels for both the virtual and in-person event. Last thing I will mention is the announcements is around becoming a member. Thank you for those who came out to some of the events that we held last month. We had some great activities, some great ride and drives, but membership. Become a member today. We've been working with some of our members on some grants and helping some of our members promote their businesses. And we always give our members first choice on panels and speaking and branding opportunities. So wanted to share with that. You can go to gwrccc.org/membership, and I think that's in the chat as well. I just wanted to mention that there are a couple major funding announcements that are available right now. If we can highlight that and put it in the chat as well, and maybe share it on the screen really quickly. One is the Clean Heavy Duty Vehicle Program. The EPA recently announced this funding. It anticipates awarding $932 million. That's right, $932 million in competitive grant funding. The funding is for replacing non-zero emission class 6 and 7 heavy duty vehicles with zero emission class 6 and 7 vehicles, including school buses, vocational vehicles, straight box trucks, step vans, septic and bucket trucks, refuse haulers, street sweepers, transit buses, etc. So this is a great opportunity. The applications are due July 25th at 11:59 p.m. So if you want us to partner with you on that, if you need a letter of support for your application, this is an EPA funding application. Please make sure that you apply. Any of the public sector, private sector entities, please apply for this EPA funding. Anything that we can do to help you do that, please do that. There's just one other funding. There's a lot of funding that we have. I wanted to mention the 2024 PEPCO Sustainable Communities Grants for DC, Prince George's, and Montgomery County. In partnership with PEPCO, will offer sustainable communities grants to eligible organizations. So we will make sure we apply as well. This program provides $70,000 support fund environmental stewardship projects and $50,000 for community resiliency projects across the PEPCO service areas of Montgomery, Prince George's, and Washington, D.C. Applications are being accepted from May 1st through July 12th. So wanted to mention that. So we have a ton of other funding announcements. I will mention some more at the end. Laura, if we can pull that up at the end, we'll do that so we can go right into our speakers. So as I mentioned, we have so there's some two. There are a lot of funding opportunities. If you're a member, you get these what we call our press review every week, where we cover news you can use, and we cover funding information. If you're not a member, you do have to wait till the newsletter goes to everyone, and that only comes out once a month. But that's why we have to show value for members. So if you pay your dues, you can get this funding information and grant information, bid and jobs opportunities, and the business development opportunities on a weekly basis. So we wanted to share that with you. So without further ado, I want to welcome our two dynamic speakers today. Gio is the president and CEO and is responsible for the growth and expansion of Pioneer Power E-Mobility, a division of Pioneer Power Solutions, Inc., through the introduction of eBoost Smart mobile EV charging solutions that reshapes our sustainable future. eBoost accomplishes this through sophisticated, seamless integration of hardware and software to bring you EV charging at the edge. And I'm just so excited about all the great work that he's doing all over the country. We want to get more of his technology in the in our region as well. Sarah Berman has a background in sustainability and fleet electrification. She previously led IKEA's Yard truck fleet electrification across the U.S. She is currently Pepco's DC EV Smart Pepco manager, and so we've been working with Sarah a little over a year, trying to get more charging locations in the region, especially in DC. And so she's got some opportunities she's going to talk about in a few minutes. So let's get started with Gio. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Antoine, GWRCCC, for having me on. Great to be on with Sarah because actually what we do is a bridge gap solution as utility power comes in for EV charging infrastructure, and then we're there for resiliency in the long term. So eBoost, as we're known in the industry, we are a division of a publicly traded company of Pioneer Power Solutions, PPSI on NASDAQ. And we launched this a little over 3 years ago. And we've had a lot of success in the market in trying to bridge gap EV charging solutions. Next slide, please. So we've been in business for over 30 years. We come from the infrastructure or switchgear side and all things power and critical power. So 3 years ago, we transitioned our focus into two products, E-Bloc, which is an integrated smart aggregate storage and distribution of all types of energy, including renewable. So basically, it is a microgrid on a skid. Very fast lead time. We also actually work with utilities across the US. So we have charge-ready infrastructure programs with Southern California Edison, for instance, to roll out their program faster to their customers. And then at the same time, in Minnesota, we launched eBoost, which is mobile EV charging, and I'll talk more about that. Next slide, please. Oops. Sorry, Laurel. There's a transition, that's why. One more clip. Thank you. So eBoost, when we introduce 4 platforms, and we call them platforms because they can be customized variably within each platform. So the smallest footprint and power capability comes from eBoost Mini, which is EV charging on a skid. So just to provide some background for people that don't know about us, we explored hydrogen power, we explored battery energy power before we decided on propane and renewable propane as the primary source of power to power our products, mainly because it is easily available anywhere in the US. It's easily transportable, and it is very affordable. And but at the same time, we are this year, and I'll talk about it a little bit more, we've introduced interfacing battery technology as well. So eBoost Mini is the smallest form on a skid. eBoost Mobile really varies the span of power coverage. It is EV charging built on a trailer, and it can be small as 30 kW, and it can actually span more than 300 kW, almost to 400 kW. And then eBoost Pod is really for large power applications. And for instance, we work up in Canada with the utilities up there to provide the NEVI equivalent of EV charging for Canada in remote places, utilizing the containerized solution. And then eBoost Goat is the acronym is generator on a truck, or basically EV charging integrated into a truck, so that it's the AAA concept of charging. Next slide. So this year we are introducing another 3 to 4 platforms, and I just wanted to talk about a few of them. One of the ones we introduced recently is called HomeBoost. This is our first residential foray or application. Next slide. So what we're doing in with HomeBoost, as we're calling it, is we're combining a backup power generator, the capabilities of level 2 EV charging, or level 3, if you wanted that option. All of that bundled into one at pretty much or equivalent to the price of a backup generator. But what you're getting is a prime generator that can run 24/7. So if you truly wanted to be in disaster recovery island mode, you can be that way. Next slide. So it comes packaged as one at your local distributor, and a local contractor can essentially integrate it into the backyard of your house, side yard. The charger could be installed in your garage or outside, depending on how you want. Level 2 is the initial offering. Level 3 is available for people who want that choice. It will be installed outside for safety reasons. And it's the only way really you're going to be able to get 480 volt power into a 30 kW platform for level 3 charging at home. Next slide. And essentially, what we're trying to do is provide a complete home backup, EV charging, and resiliency all in one package. And the primary offering on this is natural gas, because homes with any type of natural gas, propane, or other types of fuel source, 70% of American homes have natural gas hookups. So it made sense that we provide natural gas. Propane option is also available on this. So it makes it easy to integrate into your existing infrastructure. Next slide. So the next platform that we're working on is something to address Justice 40. We've been working on this for a while. And how do we address the charge gaps in disadvantaged communities, or communities that have a lot of multi-tenant homes? Next slide. So eBoost Verge was introduced with the concept of putting in EV charging in 3 to 4 months in a sidewalk scenario, level 2, available to charge 4 vehicles, again, powered by propane, and refueled automatically through the propane providers. Now, these exist so that you can test out in a community how well EV adoption can take place, how fast it can, and if the adoption is heavy, then obviously you want to apply to the utilities, have the utility come in, and as soon as the utility power comes in, we can remove this in less than 3 or 4 hours. We can remove our unit, and we can replace it. Next slide, please. We can actually move the unit to another location in the community in half a day. So it's truly a mobile solution. We built it to be curbside built, and protection and advertising available. Next slide. And these come integrated with cameras, and we monitor them 24/7 to protect it from vandalism and other issues. So it is a quick way to introduce an EV charging program. And also, if you have a rideshare program or car share program that you want to introduce into a community, this is a quick way to do it. Next slide. So what this offers is, if you have a community with a lot of multi-tenant homes and hard to get EV charging, but you want to prove the case that EV charging is needed for the community, and you want to apply to the utility, this provides you data that there are people that want EV charging at a specific location. It also allows for gig economy jobs like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, in communities like this, because now you can rent EV cars from Hertz or Avis and have charging available within your community as well. Next slide. And with that, I wanted to conclude. One thing I wanted to just give you an update is we're also working on Innovate 28, which is Los Angeles preparation for the Olympics. And one of the things that the ideas that is worked on is air taxis, or what are popularly known as EVTOLs, electric vehicle takeoff and landing. And these require immense amount of power, and we're using a negative carbon intensity solution or power solution called liquid flare in order to augment these type of solutions. So a lot of exciting things happening, and we have ZE versions of eBoost Verge coming as well, meaning it will be battery integrated instead of propane, and we will have a mobile unit that will recharge the batteries on the sidewalk daily or as needed, utilizing renewable propane or propane, whichever is available. So that in a nutshell is our update. With that, I'll turn it back over to you, Antoine.
Wow, that's incredible. I definitely have some questions for you, and I see a number of other folks do as well. So we'll come back to you shortly. I wanted to, especially with all the festivals coming up, I wanted to ask you about how can people that are trying to have charging at festivals and other things, and but we'll come back to you. I want to go to Sarah. Sarah, the floor is yours. Welcome, Sarah.
Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday, and I'm excited to be here to discuss charging in the district and talk about Pepco. We can start with, wait for the opening slide. So the Pepco's DC EV Smart program is what brought us here today. The program began in pilot in 2020. It's closing at the end of this calendar year, but that does not mean, it means we have a lot of opportunities leading up to the end of this year. And what I'm here to do is to introduce you and to invite you and engage you to reach out to that email address at the end of this call, because we hope you have charging that you want to install that we can support you in your make ready. So please spread the word. Please make and reach out to people saying that we want to support, we want to help DC reach its carbon reduction goals. We want to support customers across the district in installing EV charging that's available to the public and supporting their make ready. So please email with questions, and please share that email widely across the district, because we want to support charging. So next slide. And what I'm going to talk about is we had 5 programs that began in 2020. I'm going to focus on 3 today that are open and that are applicable to this audience. So first, we have residential whole house time of use. So what is available to a private homeowner that has access to control its charging to promote charging off peak, and that helps our grid, that keeps our energy supply static and stable. And this is open and actively seeking customers. So somebody who has a charger in their home that has primarily a single family unit that can control their access to charging. This is for your private charger. So that's one of our offerings today. What really brings us here today is the public smart level 2 charging Make Ready program that's open and actively accepting applications. We have 70 chargers, 24 remain available to submit an application for. We want to support customers that are going to install charging and make it available to the public 24 hours a day. So this can be a parking lot, this can be however you as a customer of Pepco in the District of Columbia are able to support public charging. This program supports the Make Ready side. It's for the customer to procure, own, and operate these chargers. And what that means is that Pepco will support the Make Ready, offset the infrastructure that it takes to install these chargers. And so that's where we're hoping to have these we hope to have these applications full soon. So if you know a company, a customer, then this has to go to commercial locations that will make the chargers publicly available. So parking lots that are uncontrolled primarily. And so that is what we are here today. And you can have up to 5 level 2 chargers, smart level 2 chargers. What that means is chargers that can share their charging data with Pepco that are connected to a network where this information can be shared. So please reach out if you have no customers within the district, our customers or residents within the district who are commercial locations that would like to install public charging. Up to 5 chargers can be supported. You can install more than 5 chargers at a location, but 5 would fall under the EV Smart program. We also have a public DCFC program as well. While this is fully allocated, we are all aware that Tesla has had some interesting news this past week. And some of those applications, we are working to determine their status, and those spots may become open. So again, if you're aware of someone interested in putting in DCFC charging in the district, please reach out. We are also trying to understand and gauge interest and demand for public DCFC charging. So please reach out to that email address, to myself, to anyone at GWRCC who we are directly in contact with frequently and love working with them, and reach out to talk about how we can talk about both level 2 and DCFC charging across the District of Columbia. Again, this program closes this year. If you are thinking about charging in the midterm and long term, reach out as well. We want to understand what you're doing. We want to help you and support you. We want to help you plan and to engage with our engineering teams early so we can help you prepare and help you plan these projects out so that they can be executed in the most effective, efficient manner possible when you begin these conversations early. So it's a very unique and challenging and exciting time for the EV market, which we always knew, which has always been exciting, as Gio and Antoine and everyone across GWRCC can tell you. This week has added new excitement to a very dynamic market. And we are excited to pivot and work with customers across the district to learn how we can support your public Make Ready charging. Again, customers procure, own, and operate these chargers. Pepco will support the Make Ready, offset the Make Ready costs of up to the customer's Make Ready maximum, what they invest in Make Ready. These programs can be stacked with other programs, as what GWRCC is well aware of. So reach out to both parties about how we can work together for maybe talk to them about charger procurement, talk to us about Make Ready, talk to Pepco about Make Ready. We will put you in touch with our engineering teams. We want to support your infrastructure planning and engagement and rollout. So again, whole house time of use, level 2 public Make Ready, and DCFC Make Ready. If you have near term, midterm, and long-term reach out, we want to understand what our customers are doing and be able to help support your planning and your forecasting for what this means in the future. So it's an exciting time in the EV market. We look forward to working with you and how we can discuss what opportunities are available now and in the future. So thank you all.
Thank you. So Sarah, just thank you for your great presentation. Just on that, some people may or may not know what you mean by stacking. Can you just clarify what stacking means for the grants?
Excellent. So our program supports Make Ready costs, which is infrastructure. There may be other programs that I can't speak to exactly, that I can't name exactly, but that may cover the cost of charger procurement. You are able to work with both programs together for our program, as long as they meet our program's requirement of the chargers being available 24 hours a day. And you can reach out to potentially GWRCCC about charger procurement. There may be other programs across the region for that they can support you in that. So one program would address charger procurement. One program my program, Pepco EV Smart, would address Make Ready. So
yeah. And that's
can help support costs.
Thank you. And that's really important, folks. I know that, thank you, Pastor Jackie, for joining. I know that we have a number of nonprofit and clergy leaders and public leaders and private sector leaders that want to help get more EV charging into areas. So if you have a church parking lot or a community, a family life center, or senior apartment building or something like that, those would be great locations for charging. We have a shopping center, lots of different locations. So
we love charging that is publicly available, that has wide hours that helps support safety and safe access to charging, well lit. Again, that's not something that Pepco can support, but senior centers, rec centers, libraries, religious institutions that want to support their community. So please reach out. We really want to work with communities that still are working to obtain more charging than that have seen less charging in their neighborhoods. So please tell us how we can support you.
Excellent. So I wanted to, folks, if you have any questions, you can either put them in the chat or you can raise your hand as well. I wanted to go over to Gio. Can you share with us, like, one of the things that I know you are able to get those eBoost equipment all over the place, especially at special events. Can you talk about some of the services you provide for construction sites and just special events in general when people want to have charging? And say, sometimes the utility moves a little slow. We love Pepco, but we know that they have their process. So how can you help augment and complement those three type of issues are raised?
Right. And when we launched eBoost, actually we had conversations with multiple large utilities across the US that we work with. And the challenge really, when people talk about utility challenge, people don't realize that the permitting process, land access, I mean, there are a lot of traffic, the construction, traffic, rerouting, a lot of coordination that goes into it. It's a huge undertaking. So I don't envy Sarah's position of trying to execute all of these projects. So we're really here to help that transition gap. And to answer your question, Antoine, so a lot of the smaller units that we've designed, and so there's another unit called the Roam unit, which is a very small compact trailer that is on renewable propane, but we're also making a ZE or battery energy version of that. And really, those are for construction sites or for smaller events where you need charging, DCFC, 30 kW, 60 kW that we can provide very quickly and deployed. So we are working with multiple companies across the US who are all going into this charging as a service model, utilizing our products. So stay tuned later this year. There will be in different parts of the US people introducing this program. We're utilizing those organizations as our arm to get these units out, because obviously for us, we deliver projects all over the US, but in order to access something locally for a weekend event or things like that, you really need feet on the street or a team that's local and locally focused. So that's how we do it. Earlier this year in January, we introduced ZEB, Zero Energy eBoost, which our first one. Now that unit is a 500 kW or 1.3 megawatt hour unit. It's a large battery energy storage unit. That's like a concert that takes a whole week. We can power it up and we can provide EV charging. So it's really a utility grade application, and we recharge it utilizing our renewable propane unit called Excelsior. So even if it's a small scale or large scale event, we're trying to bring in the battery interface solution into it, where consumer facing, the EV charging support will be from a zero emission battery energy storage. And in the off-peak hours, we come in and recharge them with a low carbon recharge unit.
So I wanted to give each of you a chance to answer this question. Sarah, how do you, you mentioned earlier with the Tesla situation, for those who may or may not know, Tesla, which has been really a driving force around this, what we call rapid EV charging, really charging between level 3, 15 to 30 minutes, which I still think needs to be faster, but that's a conversation for another day. So it's they made some public announcements in terms of really looking at their business strategy. Do you all see that? Any thoughts on how that's going to impact the market regionally and nationally? Just wanted to see Gio and Sarah, what do you think? Sarah, you were kind of saying that's going to provide some opportunities for utilities and for the different charging companies. I know we got a lot of charging companies on here as well. Be interested to see what you all's thoughts were on that.
I believe.
You go ahead, Sarah.
Thank you. I believe Pepco is going to work on just continuing to move projects forward, all our projects forward, and to allow for just to prioritize what is in our queue and work with our customers to support them. So we're just moving with EV Smart, we're going to be moving our current DCFC projects forward and work with customers to find out how we can maximize this situation and just learn from it, and how do we make sure that we meet our offering requirements to put chargers in the ground. So that is our priority, is our current and active customer base is to support their projects.
Sweet. All right. And Gio, what do you think?
Yeah, I will. I'll impine a little bit more because we work with all types of charger companies. So, as a charging company, EV charging company, it is a very tough position. And Tesla did an excellent job of creating a charging infrastructure that melded very well with their EV cars. And because of that ecosystem, you could see the success they've had. But as a company, it's a business decision that they may want to step away from it. Now, from a cultural standpoint, it seems very difficult that there were so many people that lost their jobs and was part of the casualty. But from a business perspective, I don't think Tesla is walking away from charging infrastructure. What they're saying is that there are people in the industry that's capable, EVSEs, of installing them. They will continue to provide the technology, and I'm sure they will find external ways of supporting that technology. So I don't think people should get into a panic of, oh my God, Tesla's abandoning EV charging, right? That isn't the case. But over the next few months, and already you know may have heard things from Tritium and others. You know, EV charging business is a difficult business. It is a very cost intensive business. There's a lot of R&D that goes into it. When you provide charging as a service, there's a lot of finance costs behind it. But is it a necessary thing for us and for our future? Yes. So there will be some other companies, I think, over the rest of 2024 that may close their business or reduce their emphasis on it. But this also gives opportunities for some others to step into that void and really expand their business. And we're already seeing that with a lot of the charging partners we work with. We're charger agnostic. So we work with all charger companies, and that's why we can openly talk about it this way. So we empathize with, you know, obviously the people that had to be part of that layoff structure, but you know, time will tell. They will land in very good positions. They're very talented individuals, and I think the EV charging industry will continue on forward because the battery prices are also coming down. So there are a lot of scales of economy that's going to help the industry move forward.
Well, I want to ask each of you, I'll go to Sarah for this. First, if you all could put in the chat, Roxana Johnson wants to know how she can, folks can connect with you all after the event or stay in contact with you if they have questions. So if you all could put your information in the chat. If there's one thing that people could you could do to make your jobs easier, this is an industry less than 10% of Americans are driving EV cars. We know that's going to rapidly change over the next couple of years. But if you have one crystal ball that can help you get these chargers out more, Sarah, what would that be? And two, Gio, if there was one thing you could do to let people know more about all the great opportunities and how you can make their lives easier, what would it be? So Sarah, we'll go with you first.
I want to get the word out. I want to connect with businesses who have parking lots, who want to drive customers to their locations, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's can be a religious institution, it can be a rec center, it can be a convenience store. We know that businesses see increased revenue, increased visitations when you have electric vehicle charging in your parking lots. We want to support communities to get charging throughout these communities because we know Uber drivers, other drivers, Lyft drivers, again, we are agnostic to all EVSE, OEMs, and any type of Lyft or rideshare partnerships as well, that we know that they'll end up in other neighborhoods and they will charge where your chargers are publicly available. They'll bring you to your convenience stores, they'll come to your churches, they'll come to your rec centers when charging's out there. We need to get the word out. We have 24 chargers possibly, and we want to support and possibly DCFCs. We want to say that we want to get charging throughout the district. Level 2 is a great opportunity to get a short charge that doesn't have a huge upfront cost for a lot of nonprofits. That can be that DCFCs cause can be a bigger hurdle. They're also easier to install from a infrastructure standpoint. So we need to spread the word. We want people to understand that charging, if you work with Pepco, GWRCC to talk about how different ways to handle the charger procurement, the infrastructure, the make ready, how do we work together across numerous organizations to get chargers in the ground, getting them available. There's more vehicles out there. We see the secondary market for electric vehicles increasing meaning it's available to more people across the district, more people across the country. And we want to help get people a more sustainable and available future when we have charging across the district. So thank you.
Thank you. And I wanted to share before we go to Gio, I'm not sure if everyone knows on this call that you can actually, there's a $7,500 rebate at point of sale for certain model EVs, and also a $4,000 rebate for used. So we'll have a flyer that will be circulating as well. We have a lot of events that we will be attending the next several months, so we'll do our part to help promote that. Gio, yours?
Yeah, so we work across a lot of the EV industries. For instance, we're supporting LAUSD. LAUSD made the largest purchase of EV buses, 200 buses from Bluebird late last year. We're supporting electrifying those with our units for all 200 of those buses for the first few years as they phase in, the utility comes in. And so we work in tandem with these type of bridge gap solutions. We're working with several transit authorities that have over 30 buses coming in, and they have a 3 to 4 year infrastructure gap. Again, a lot of power needed, a lot of utility work up front that needs to be done, including some substation work. And so we're providing that a stopgap solution. But beyond these industries, we're looking at farming going EVs, airport support vehicles going EVs, ports going EVs. This summer in Miami, the boat shows will have a number of e-boats coming out, jet skis, tourism. The transition to electric utilization and a lot of these is happening in not just in the consumer side, but you're going to see it in a lot of different factions. So there are a lot of job opportunities also. And when Sarah talks about these type of public venues, I mean, when you look at the consumer side, you may think, okay, well, some people may need charging. Really, there will be a lot of people that need charging. Keep in mind that Lyft, Uber, DoorDash, all of these organizations have a goal of 2030 or 2035 to be meaningfully or majority electric-based vehicles. And in order to support that, whether it's rented units or owners having EVs, they all need charging, and they're going to need a network of support, right? So no matter what you hear in the news in the next few months, the inertia that's been there is going to continue through. So there's a lot of opportunities in EV charging infrastructure that still has to be dealt with in the US.
All right. All right. Can you all hear me? Okay, great. All right. Well, I want to give you all a chance to give some final remarks. I know that we did have a question from Mr. Griffiths from DC Public Works. Sarah, he said, can he reach out to you about they have a lot of buildings. He has capacity right now. Bill, you wanted to chime in there?
Just determining like who at Pepco we can talk about to one, if we know what the capacity is, and then two, does Pepco have a service to help us determine what our existing, understanding like, hey, down the street we have capacity, and that would be helpful if there's a contact for that.
Yes, please reach out to the email. I know it looks like a generic email. I'll respond with putting you in touch with the appropriate teams.
Thank you.
So that's exactly what we want to hear, is people planning and thinking about how and where the best places are to put charging in. It's great when you can focus on when you have choices. Not everyone does, to choose locations that have sufficient power, or to help design, maybe you go smaller, or you phase it in to work with existing infrastructure as much as possible to get those chargers in sooner, and to work with Pepco to help build that over time as well. So
Pastor Jackie, you got a question?
No.
Oh, okay. No worries. No worries. All right. I want to give our speakers 1 minute of closing comments.
Sarah, you want to go?
Sure. Just to say thank you, everyone, for your time today. Pepco really appreciates being able to engage and connect with the community. We want to be able to support your community, your constituents, whether you're a religious institution or if you're anyone across the district, and about how do we get charging to you at your locations. Reach out. Even if it's not for the EV Smart program, please reach out, and we will put you in touch with the correct teams across Pepco about how and to plan and implement your projects. So thank you.
Thank you. Gio.
Yes, same on my side. Thank you. Just think of us as an extension for the utilities, right? If you want to know the utilization and the feasibility or usage of EV charging, you can utilize a unit like ours because we rent, lease, or you can own them. And with that data that you get, that substantiate that EV charging is required there. And then your call is to Sarah to say, hey, we need EV charging at this location. And long-term, it is the utilities that will support this. But we can be that tool to get you the bridge gap solution. So, if there are EVSEs that are looking at trying to do business models around that, we can support it as well. And we appreciate you guys being on.
Well, Gia, I hope you're going to bring some of your vehicles up on June at our golf tournament. We always have a display of vehicles. So if you're able to bring some of your equipment up for the golf tournament, or hopefully at our conference in October, you can have some equipment at that. And we'll be in Steve's place in Greenbelt. So either one of those would be great opportunities to have some of your vehicles. Also, June 1st, I forgot, Bill, you got a big event. Mr. Griffiths, you got a big event coming up June 1st, right, at RFK Stadium, the Touch Truck event, right?
Yep. It's the annual DPW Touch Truck event. We've got it's very popular here in DC. We bring out all of our newest, latest, and greatest equipment from Public Works, and we get to then showcase a lot of the alt fuel vehicles we have, our EV fleet, our biodiesel fleet, CNG stuff that we have in service. So yeah, excited to do that. My fuel management director, Jason Nordy, is not on the call. He's actually traveling back today from an event, but he's the lead for that. Come on out. It's a good opportunity to see all the different types of equipment, especially all the alt fuels equipment that we have here in the city.
And you have all the youth come. You have
Yeah.
Last year they had over 7,000 people last year.
Yeah, it's a pretty good event. My daughter's 22 and she still goes to these things. My daughter loves equipment. It's funny.
Nice. So I wanted to make sure you all know it's free. It's at RFK Stadium. We'll be out there. We encourage our partners. If you want to share some space with us, let us know. It's a great event. A lot of community people, a lot of elected officials come. Gets a lot of press coverage too.
Yes.
And like I said, last year had over 7,000 people that came out. So let us know if you're interested. Gio, before we wrap up, you're going to be at the ACT Expo?
Absolutely. Booth 2365. Anyone coming by, please come on, say hello to us.
Tell them what the ACT Expo is too,
Yes, Advanced Clean Technologies Show, quite possibly the largest show that talks about not just EV charging, but everything related to EV charging and clean fuels technologies. It is in Las Vegas, May 20 through the 24th. We will be at booth 2365, but we will also have units supporting the ride and drive area with all of the different manufacturers and OEM partners we work with. So it's a great show if you want to really know the new entrants as well as the people that are established in the business to come out and get to know.
And if you are a member, if you email Laurel or myself, we'll get you a discount code as well. We have a discount code gets you some money off for that conference as well. So look out. And are you doing your reception this year? Last thing, are you doing a reception this year though?
Yeah, so we are doing a different type, an invite only reception, but
Okay.
you guys will get the notifications soon. So
Okay. I didn't know if we made the list, you know.
oh no, you guys are always GWRCCC is always on our list.
All right. Well, thank you. I want to thank everyone for being on today. This program will be available on LinkedIn, Facebook, and also I think maybe Instagram. I'm not sure. But so you can go right to YouTube. So you can go right to our website, click on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, and you can watch this and many of the other programs that we put on. So I want to thank our team for putting this together. I want to thank our speakers. You all were phenomenal. All our attendees for all the good information. Remember, if you're not a member of GWRCCC, please sign up today as well. Become a member, and if you spirit moves you, make sure you can always donate on our website as well because we do take donations. And sign up for our golf tournament. Even if you don't play well, you can come have fun. I'm terrible, but I like going out, socializing, networking, and we'll have a lot of vehicles out on display that you can ride, you can drive, you can sit on, and all that good stuff and touch. So without further ado, you all have a great day and see you next time. Be safe.